The internet is, it's full of promises of passive income. But every now and then a trend comes along that's backed by some real verifiable data. And today we are taking a deep dive into exactly that. The world of faceless YouTube automation, all powered by these incredibly accessible AI tools. We are not dealing with hypotheticals here. The stack of sources you provided is just brimming with success stories, defining this new kind of content creator. I mean, it's someone who never shows their face but runs this lean, high-efficiency media machine. We're talking channels reporting earnings between $12,000 and $82,000 per month.
And it gets wilder. You highlighted one creator who manages multiple channels, and they're generating over $155,000 monthly. And that's mainly from ad revenue. My favorite example, though, is the philosophical niche channel. It only launched 6 months ago, and it already pulled in $110,000. These numbers aren't just, proof of concept. They show a really viable, highly scaled business model.
It really makes you wonder why this is exploding right now.
It's because it directly solves the biggest barriers to entry for content creation. I mean, historically, you needed equipment, you needed charisma, a willingness to be on camera. But a lot of people are camera shy, or they value their privacy, or they just don't have the time for all that traditional filming stuff. AI automation has completely removed that friction. It handles the visuals, the really human-like voiceovers, the editing. It just turns the whole process into a strategic assembly line.
Okay, so that settles the why, it's privacy and efficiency. Now for the how. Our mission today is to move past the hype and unpack the exact automated step-by-step framework from these sources. We're focusing on how you can use these tools and strategies to turn strategic thinking into consistent income streams. Okay, let's unpack this. Starting right at the bedrock of any successful channel, nailing the foundation. The first step in this whole structured framework is choosing the right territory.
So what are the most profitable faceless niches the sources identify?
It all starts with the niche.
Yeah.
When we look at those high earners, they almost all fall into categories with a high RPM or revenue per mil. Right, that's the ad payout for every 1,000 views.
Exactly. So high RPM niches include finance, personal finance, that whole make money online category, tech, business, self-help and motivation, horror stories, and weirdly, 3D animation tutorials.
So the temptation is just to chase the highest RPM number, right? But the sources seem to suggest pulling back from pure profit motivation.
Absolutely. While the profit potential is huge, the core advice is to choose a niche you genuinely enjoy. YouTube success is all about consistency, and creating videos on a subject you hate will just lead to burnout, long before you even hit those monetization goals.
So find the overlap, high RPM potential that you can actually commit to. And part of that strategy involves, well, mitigating risk by looking at competitors.
Yes. Instead of creating in a vacuum, you're encouraged to look at your competitors' most popular videos from, say, the last 90 days. You're essentially using market data to ensure you're making content on topics that are already proven to perform. You start with guaranteed hits, not guesswork.
Okay, so niche strategy is locked in. The first real automation step is building an identity, and a lot of that seems to be done right inside ChatGPT.
That's the beauty of it. You use ChatGPT to handle all the boring stuff, like generating 10 to 50 unique channel names, things like Finn's Fair for finance or the philosophical owl. It's also used to create channel descriptions and even to generate these really specific character lists or aesthetic prompts you'll use later for the visual AI tools.
And speaking of visuals, we need a brand identity, logos, banners. What tools are the sources recommending, especially for someone on a shoestring budget?
It's mostly free or freemium tools. Canva is a mainstay for banners, because of the easy templates. But for generating original, high-quality images for logos, Leonardo AI and Ideogram AI are mentioned all the time. Leonardo AI is specifically highlighted for its superior text-to-image quality. And a key tip the sources emphasize is making sure you specify 3D or layered effects in your prompt to give the logo that professional stacked look.
And getting the dimensions right, like 800 by 800 for the profile picture.
Exactly.
So we've built the storefront, but a polished logo doesn't matter if the content stinks. Let's talk about the absolute core engine, the script. The sources are so emphatic that scripting is the most important part.
That's the truth. And this is where it gets really interesting, because you can't just ask ChatGPT, write me a script about money. That will give you that recognizable, dry, robotic AI script that nobody's going to stick around for. The strategy relies on these advanced scripting techniques that turn ChatGPT into a bespoke screenwriter.
So how do we give the AI a director's brief What are these special instructions needed to avoid that generic tone and maximize success?
You have to integrate this comprehensive set of non-negotiable instructions right into the prompt. It's like setting all the technical specs before you hit render. For example, you have to define the exact video length, say, requiring a 3 to 5 minute runtime for a motivational piece. You need to provide detailed audience demographics, like 18 to 30-year-olds in the US who are interested in self-improvement.
And you also dictate the tone and the emotional strategy.
Precisely. You specify the tone: authoritative, inspirational, maybe deeply mysterious for a horror niche. And crucially, you instruct the AI to use emotional triggers. Fear of stagnation, excitement about the future, or a sense of urgency to act now.
And the final piece of that puzzle is forcing the AI to build in retention tactics, right?
Yes, you have to prompt for a strong intro, hook something compelling in the first 10 seconds. You ask for pattern interrupts in the middle to break monotony, and you tell it to constantly connect different points back to the main idea. These detailed, multifaceted prompts are the absolute key to maximizing retention, which the YouTube algorithm rewards above almost anything else.
That completely shifts the required skill. It's no longer about writing well, it's about prompting well and understanding audience psychology. So once that perfectly engineered script is ready, we need a voice. What are the best options for voiceover generation?
The unanimous top recommendation in the sources is ElevenLabs. It's the gold standard right now because of its ultra-realistic, highly flexible voice models.
But there's a cost and a capacity issue, isn't there?
There is. The free limit is only about 10,000 characters a month. Given the volume of content you need for automation, creators quickly find they either have to pay for the premium tiers or resort to using multiple free accounts to manage the workload.
Now, here's a pro tip that sounds a little counterintuitive to the whole automation idea.
Okay.
The sources say to add a manual step back in to maximize quality.
Correct. The crucial tip is, do not generate the entire script in one go. Instead, you generate each paragraph or even each major sentence separately.
Why is that?
If you feed the whole script in, the AI often settles into this flat, monotonous cadence. By doing it paragraph by paragraph, you can ensure the AI better manages tone, expression, and pacing. The finished audio track just sounds far more natural and human.
That makes perfect sense. You're trading a couple of minutes of manual input for a vastly superior, less robotic final product.
Okay, for those who need completely free alternatives, what did the sources recommend? TextMagic is mentioned for its lifelike voices across 50 languages. And for audio cleanup, Adobe Enhanced Speech is highlighted as a great free tool for taking any existing audio, even if it's recorded poorly, and removing background noise and echo. Makes it sound professional.
So we have the strategic niche, the high retention script, and the professional voiceover. The next big challenge is the visual component. The sources lay out 4 clear paths for creating the actual faceless content.
Right, the first 2 paths are the most straightforward. Path 1, action recording. This is common for tutorials where you just film your hands or do a screen recording. Path 2 is stock media and graphics. This is the classic faceless approach, relying on huge royalty-free libraries like Storyblocks, Freepik, or Pixabay, often combined with simple slide presentations made in Canva.
And the sources point out how AI is even automating that stock media path now.
Exactly. We saw examples of tools like Ideogram AI that can take a simple idea or a link to an article and generate an entire coherent video purely from licensed stock clips. It saves hours of manual work.
Now let's talk about the AI heavy lifters, starting with path 3, animated graphics and photos.
This is a fast-growing category. You use the image generators we mentioned earlier, Leonardo AI, Ideogram AI, to create these stunning static images, and then you bring them to life with simple animation tools. Pixabay AI is free and effective, though it does leave a watermark. Or you can use basic keyframes within a popular editor like CapCut.
Keyframes, for anyone unfamiliar, are just markers you place to define the start and end point of a motion, right? Like telling a picture to slowly zoom in.
Precisely. It gives that cinematic slow zoom or pan effect. And this leads to that genuinely strange insider trick you found in the sources.
Yes, the paint trick. If you have an image you want to animate, you open it in a basic image editor like Microsoft Paint, and you actually pull the canvas dimensions down. You're essentially increasing the white space around the image before uploading it to the animation tool.
And the reason for this is so clever. It gives the animation software more canvas to work with. If your image perfectly fills the frame, you can't really zoom out or pan without hitting black edges. By increasing the size of the initial file, you give yourself more freedom for those slow, subtle camera movements in the edit.
That is a classic aha moment. Now, the final path, path 4, is the most sophisticated way to add a face without showing yours. AI character avatars.
Right. Tools like HeyGen or DID let you generate a fully realized spokesperson character. Take the script and the ElevenLabs voiceover, feed it into the tool, and it generates a hyper-realistic video where the avatar is synced to the audio, speaking your words.
So you effectively get a face for the channel, but your identity stays private.
Exactly.
Okay, once all those automated elements, the voice, the visuals are generated, we move to the final assembly line: editing, optimization, and monetization.
The editing phase is generally handled by CapCut. It's popular because it's free and really powerful. And the sources give very precise specs here, things you need to follow for audio balance.
Let's run through those battle-tested secrets.
For audio balance, the recommendation is clear. Set the voiceover volume high, maybe plus 5 decibels, and the background music significantly lower, around minus 15. The music should be atmosphere, not a distraction. For visual continuity, you can use compound clips to group video segments, you can reverse clips to avoid noticeable repetition of stock footage, and you rely on simple, clean transitions like the mix overlay.
And we can automate captions, which are so crucial for engagement, especially with shorts when people have their sound off.
Absolutely. Tools like VEED.io or Clipchamp handle the automation of captions. But the pro move is the customization. Creators are meticulous about subtitle-style custom fonts, using specific colors for engagement, adding shadows, making sure it's all uppercase. Subtitles are a massive retention tool.
We're almost ready to upload. The crucial step right before publishing is optimization, or SEO. How do we ensure these perfectly produced videos actually get seen?
You leverage dedicated tools. For instant keyword generation, RapidTags.io is cited. You just paste your video title, and it spits out a whole list of keywords. For full metadata management, vidIQ is recommended for automatically generating SEO-friendly titles, descriptions, and tags.
The sources also include this very specific, almost analog pro tip for boosting search ranking. It feels like a real insider secret.
It does. It relates to naming the file itself. Before you upload the video, you have to name the exported video file exactly as the final video title. The sources claim this simple act, which is kind of a legacy SEO technique, still gives more ranking to our video in search by linking the physical file to the content's metadata.
That is a tiny piece of friction for a potentially huge payout, and we can't forget the final visual element, the thumbnail.
The advice on thumbnails is very minimalist and strategic. They need to be simple, clean, and high contrast. Think of that modern stoicism aesthetic with black, red, and white. They have to be readable, even when they're tiny, which is why simplicity always wins over complexity. And again, Canva or vidIQ's built-in thumbnail generator are the recommended tools.
So the channel is running, videos are optimized, views are coming in. We need to talk monetization. That $155,000 example was mostly ad revenue, but the sources point out where the real leverage exists.
Right. While the YouTube Partner Program is the starting line, the ceiling is often found elsewhere. The real money frequently comes from affiliate commissions. This means using platforms like ClickBank to promote niche-relevant products, a finance course, a self-help ebook in the video description. This method can often earn way more than the ad revenue alone because you control the margin.
With all this powerful, fast automation, there are bound to be risks. The sources provided some crucial warnings.
There are 3 major ones. First, copyright. Never use music without a royalty-free license. If you get flagged, you have to appeal immediately. Second, low retention. The tools help you create volume, but volume is useless if no one watches past the first 10 seconds. You have to cut the fluff relentlessly and use those detailed prompts to enforce strong hooks.
And the final warning, which is maybe the most important for anyone looking at those big earnings, is the monetization timeline.
This is so critical. Creators are explicitly warned. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It requires building an audience, which takes time. The sources suggest committing for at least a year of consistent uploads before you even think about throwing in the towel. That initial growth phase is often the slowest.
So what does this all mean? When we look at this entire framework, from generating 50 channel names to editing and SEO, the sheer automation power available today is just immense. A single person using a stack of affordable AI tools can truly function as a full production team.
The synthesis really is that success in this field is less about finding one magic tool and more about embracing this systematic production line efficiency. The required effort has totally shifted. You don't need to be a great videographer anymore. You need to be a great strategist who can flawlessly execute the automated steps.
The sources show you have access to a full AI production team right now, capable of generating consistent, high-quality, high-retention content.
And given that consistency is key to YouTube growth and AI handles the content volume, the final question for you to consider is this. Does success now depend less on unique creativity and artistic flair, and more on who can execute the automation steps most consistently and efficiently? Something for you to mull or explore on your own.
That's a fascinating thought. The age of the automated content strategist is definitely here. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.